Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam's Reviews, and in today's video I'm gonna be continuing the mini-series which I made after going to the Cairo International Film Festival. In each video I'm gonna be reviewing 3 movies. It's gonna be mini reviews and it's gonna be an overview. If you missed the first one, I'm gonna link it down below, where I reviewed The Father, Memory House and Mughal Mowgli. And in this video we have 3 new movies which I'm super excited to talk about. So first off, the most exciting movie I've seen during the Cairo International Film Festival and one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It's directed by Chloe Zhao and it stars the amazing Frances McDormand. So first off, it follows Frances McDormand, who is an old lady who loses her job because of the Great Recession in the early 2000s, and we follow her journey after being a nomad, choosing not to have any place to stay, choosing not to have a home. So she chose to be a nomad, which is basically having an RV where you live in it and you move from one town to another, only getting temporary jobs in order to have enough money to survive, like food and drinks, and that's it, the basic survival needs. So the movie is an intimate exploration of how to live with no chains, how to live with no imposed rules that are imposed on you from being a modern person in a modern world filled with governments and rules and globalization and modernity, all these chains that you might not be aware of it, but they exist. The director explores that in its good form and its bad form. She doesn't exactly tell you where she stands. She just leaves you the choice to choose whether you agree with the movie or not. So the movie is a bit of a meditation. We follow the main character moving from one town to another while we are observing the beautiful landscape and the beautiful soundtrack is playing, and you can see her meeting new people, getting attached to people and then leaving them, meeting other new people. All these people are very simple. They only want to survive. They don't want any of the luxurious thoughts and dreams that we all have. Also, fun fact, most of the nomads in the movie are actually real people and they were engaging in real conversations with Frances McDormand. It's very hard to pinpoint what is real and what was staged, but the lines are very blurred. It's very spontaneous. The movie is a slow burn. It doesn't have a coherent plot. Don't go in it thinking that there's like a rising action and a climax and a falling action. No, it's just like one straight line. You're a passenger in the seat of this person. You're observing their lives and then you just like stop observing their lives. That's it. You're just following this character having no purpose in life and just watching her doing the most mundane things and learning to do the most mundane things, such as cleaning her RV or trying to find more storage in her car. All these sequences does not drive the plot forward because, as I said, there is no plot. It's just a way to draw and better paint the picture of a nomad's life in all its details. And I also think the movie needs you to have a certain type of anger towards the corporate life and the corporate system in order to fully be engrossed in it, because the director invites you to start looking at life with maybe no chains, nothing. You just have nothing. If you started to pick up your stuff and leave, you have nothing to worry on, no ties, no chains, no nothing. On a technical level, the movie excels in the cinematography. The cinematography is beautiful. Each and every shot, it feels like a painting with all the beautiful color schemes in the sky and all the beautiful landscape and the mountains and all the sceneries that you have in the wildlife. It's beautiful. The soundtrack being one of the best the entire year, just like the scenery with the soundtrack and the silence. It's a beautiful painting. It's a beautiful portrait that you keep on watching. The screenplay feels improvised. It's natural and it paints a beautiful real image of people. Finally, Frances McDormand's acting is just outstanding. You can't go wrong with her. If you have a Frances McDormand in your movie, then your movie is gonna be amazing. She's very passionate, very charismatic. She takes you to another world. You cannot see Frances McDormand in this movie. You just see the character. You can see her dedication. She wanted this movie to be an exploration of herself and the way she can kind of experiment. And I love when actors do that. And an excellent movie, a must watch. This is gonna be one of my favorite movies of the year. I gave it 8 out of 10 and it's totally recommended. The second movie I'm gonna be talking about is New Order, and it's directed by Michel Franco, who's a Mexican director who made movies such as Chronic and April's Daughter and After Luisha. So the movie starts out as a wedding ceremony of a rich family, and they're all celebrating and having fun. It's a perfect image from the outside. And then suddenly things don't go as planned, and the movie's tone changes really quickly and escalates to the maximum. You go from when you see the first scene of the movie and the last scene of the movie, there's no connection to there. You cannot know that this is like the same movie. It stands out this year as one of the most violent movies of the year. These type of movies, this type of violence does not come around regularly. The themes and ideas in this movie are built under several layers in the movie. It's very easy to miss it. That's why a lot of people did not enjoy this movie. I totally understand. They quickly judge the movie as a nonsensical movie with unjustifiable violence, and it's very easy to miss the point of the movie. You just have to have a certain realization, and again, as I mentioned in Nomadland, a certain anger towards a certain class. The violence at the beginning of the movie was targeted toward a certain group of people. It was not justifiable, but it was understandable. But later on, after the movie progresses, suddenly the violence spreads and you start to lose who's actually producing this violence and who's receiving this violence. It made no sense. The themes of the movie are very political, and it shows you how a fascist party can rise in the modern society and how it can have kind of the same effect that it used to have. The direction was very competent. The director used so many locations and so difficult locations. I don't know how he got the access to these type of places. There's a lot of people in this movie, a lot of events, a lot of locations. It's just so entertaining and so gory. Overall, it was an enjoyable, quick-based, well-made movie that has a lot of ambition and a lot of social commentary, whether you agree with it or not. One of the most unforgettable movies that I've seen during the Cairo International Film Festival, and it's very hard for me to forget it. Some of the scenes, some of the violence is just unbearable. I gave New Order 7 out of 10, and I totally recommend it if you're into this type of movies. If you are a sensitive person who doesn't like violence, this movie is not for you. You're probably good watching Nomadland. It's a meditation movie. And the final movie I'm going to be talking about in this video is a movie that I did not like. It's a German movie called Undine, and it's directed by Christian Petzold, and it stars Paula Beer and Franz Rogowski. So the writer/director of the movie, Christian Petzold, made movies such as Transit, Barbara, and Phoenix, and I've heard so many good things about him. It made me excited to watch the movie, but I don't know what happened. It was below average at all fronts. This movie was kind of funny of how bad it was. It's very hard for me to talk because very little things happen in this movie and very little things are worth talking about. It follows a woman who breaks up with her boyfriend at the beginning of the movie, and literally the next scene she finds another guy who she quickly claims as her boyfriend, and the next scene they are super in love. And later on, as the movie progresses, you kind of guess that she has some sort of supernatural abilities. You're not sure what's happening, but there's something supernatural going on. Bit by bit, you kind of understand the magical realism that the movie is trying to do, but fails miserably at. The acting was so overrated, so superficial. The characters were so overwritten, and you couldn't feel their emotions at all. The direction was so uninventive. The pacing of the movie was so slow and so boring. And the worst thing about this movie is the elongated scenes of the main character telling us the history of Berlin over and over and over again. She works as a tour guide and she recites her, I don't know, what do you call it, her tour guide sort of speech, telling people where they are and what's the history of the place that they are in. And most of the movie is her telling me like the history of Berlin, which I don't care about, and she doesn't do that once or twice. Like almost 30 minutes of the entire movie is Undine telling me the history of a place that I don't care or don't wish to know. it gets really boring, and you as a viewer grow detached from the characters and detached from the movie, and you just want this speech to end. A lot of the things that happen in this movie has no significance, and you never come back to it. You don't know what's the point of showing me a certain something and then just never talk about it again. Also, the jobs that the main characters have makes no sense and has no meaning and has no significance. Like, they I could see that the director wanted to make some sort of a modern tale, fairy tale, or some sort of a retelling of a folk tale that he has. But just, if you could do that, do it. But if you couldn't do that, just stop making me listen to the history of Berlin for 30 minutes and telling me it's a movie. Why did he do that? Did he just want the runtime of the movie to be an hour and a half so he could release it? The director tried to weave in some sort of hints and ideas of the origins of our main character in order for you to pick up on it when you second view the movie, but honestly it was so obnoxious and so obvious that it was just in your face. It was forced on you. I do not recommend this movie. I gave it 2 out of 10 stars. I don't know if I'm gonna give this director another chance. I think I will, because I heard some great things about his other movies, especially Transit, but I don't know. I don't feel so encouraged to do so after watching Undine. That's it. Sorry I ended on a bad note, but things happen. Have you seen any of the movies I just mentioned? Are any of them on your to be watched list? Please leave your opinion down below, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!